Once upon a time, long before Wall Street or Silicon Valley, there was Rome, a city that ruled not just armies, but the very flow of money itself. The Roman Empire was more than swords and soldiers. It was a financial machine, an ancient economy so powerful that it shaped the destiny of millions and left lessons we still haven't fully learned. Long before gold coins and grand palaces, Rome's true wealth lay in its soil. The Romans were farmers first. The empire's lifeblood was wheat, olives, and grapes. Grain fed the cities, olives gave oil for lamps and cooking, and wine became a symbol of civilization itself. Across Italy, vast farms called latifundia spread like kingdoms, owned by the rich, but worked by slaves and poor laborers. As Rome expanded, small farmers lost their land, forced to move to the crowded city. There, they became dependent on free grain from the government, a system called the annona, which kept the poor fed and the city calm. It was brilliant, but also dangerous, because when people depend on the state for bread, the empire's stability becomes fragile. If agriculture was Rome's heart, trade was its bloodstream. Imagine massive ships carrying Egyptian grain to feed Rome, Spanish olive oil heading east, British tin and gold traveling south. Rome connected continents, Europe, Asia, Africa, through an intricate web of roads, ports, and sea routes. Over 400,000 kilometers of Roman roads stitched the empire together. Soldiers marched on them, yes, but so did merchants, bankers, and dreamers. Every road led to Rome, and every coin eventually found its way there too. Markets buzzed with sounds of barter and business. You could find silk from China, spices from India, glass from Syria, and wool from Gaul, all traded under one empire using one currency. It was, in many ways, the world's first global economy. But trade needed a language, and that language was money. Rome perfected it. The denarius, aureus, and sestertius were coins made of silver, gold, and bronze, each stamped with the emperor's face. Holding one was like holding a piece of power itself. Coins made transactions faster, taxes easier, and empire building smoother. But money also became the empire's silent weakness. Over time, emperors began reducing the silver content in coins to fund wars and luxuries. They printed more money, but the value dropped, a problem we'd now call inflation. Prices rose, wages lagged, and ordinary Romans suffered. History, it seems, always finds a way to repeat its economic mistakes. To run a vast empire, Rome needed vast revenue. Taxes came from everywhere. Farmers, traders, and even the conquered provinces. Egypt's grain, Spain's silver, Africa's oil, all flowed into Rome's treasury. Tax collectors known as publicani became powerful and often corrupt. The rich found loopholes, the poor paid the price. But the money funded roads, aqueducts, arenas, and even the Roman legions, who kept peace across the empire. Still, as the empire grew, so did the cost of maintaining it. By the 3rd century, half of all state revenue went into the military. It was like a business spending all its profit just to protect itself. Behind Rome's shining marble stood millions of forgotten workers. Slavery was the engine of the Roman economy. In the fields, mines, kitchens, and workshops, slaves did the hard labor. After every conquest, thousands were brought to Italy as property. They built temples, harvested crops, and even taught children. For the wealthy elite, this meant leisure and luxury. For the poor, it meant despair. A few men controlled enormous estates, while common citizens struggled to survive. Rome's economy was booming, but its inequality was exploding. Sound familiar? Then came the Age of Peace, the Pax Romana from 27 BCE to 180 CE. No major wars, stable leadership, booming trade. Cities grew, art flourished, and for a time, life was good. Historians call this Rome's economic miracle. Population peaked at 70 million. Trade stretched from Britain to India. A merchant in Alexandria could sell to customers in Gaul using the same coins, laws, and language. It was globalization, 2,000 years before the word even existed. But golden ages don't last forever.
As emperors demanded more palaces, more armies, more taxes, the economy began to strain. Rome's leaders debased the currency again and again, mixing cheap metals into silver coins. Inflation skyrocketed. A loaf of bread that once cost 1 denarius could now cost hundreds. Trade slowed, roads decayed, and people lost faith in the empire's money. Corruption spread, invasions increased, and famine stalked the cities. By the 3rd century, Rome was no longer the unstoppable force it had been. The world's first supereconomy had become its own victim, destroyed from within by greed and mismanagement. When the Western Empire finally fell in 476 CE, it wasn't just armies that collapsed, it was an entire economic system. Trade routes vanished, coinage disappeared, cities emptied, but Rome's legacy never died. Its roads became Europe's highways, its laws shaped modern commerce, its idea of a unified market inspired future civilizations, from the Byzantine Empire to the European Union. Rome proved that a powerful economy can build an empire, but a careless one can also destroy it. So what does the fall of Rome teach us today? That wealth built on exploitation is fragile, that printing money to solve problems only delays the inevitable, that inequality can rot a society faster than any army. Rome rose because it connected the world, and it fell because it forgot the value of balance. When money became more important than people, when greed outweighed fairness, the empire that once ruled the world began to crumble from the inside. And maybe, just maybe, we're not that different. Because every time we borrow beyond our means, every time we chase profit over purpose, we walk the same dangerous road Rome once did. The stones of Rome still stand, silent witnesses to a story that began in farms and ended in flames. The Roman economy wasn't just about gold or grain, it was about people, choices, and the eternal truth that no empire, no matter how mighty, can survive when greed replaces wisdom.